My name is Reid Derco. I'm the head golf professional at Cedar Point Club.
My name is Cameron Robinett. I'm the president and chairman here at Cedar Point Club.
Name is Chris Keen. I'm current director of operations / golf course superintendent here at Cedar Point Club in Suffolk.
My grandparents were one of the founding members of the club in 1964. Construction began in 1963. Arthur Jack Snyder was the original designer.
So Cedar Point Beck was completely renovated in 2004. They chose A1, A4 blend for creeping bent grass for the greens, and we have Tip Sport Bermuda everywhere else.
The renovation was led by Tom Clark, took out 600 trees. This is not anything like the golf course that I grew up on.
Do you think it's better now, or is it, do you like it better as a fair?
The fairness is much better. Is it a better test of golf for the elite of the elite? I'll leave that to them. In terms of the aesthetics, the ability to have proper turf maintenance, airflow, sunshine, everything else to make the golf course as great as it can be month in, month out, winter, summer. No question this is a better test of golf now than it was prior to 2003.
What part of your game do you think the Cedar Point is going to test the most?
I think no matter what, it's going to test your short game, along with some of the improvements that we're doing around the green complexes for this championship. I do think that it's going to vary based on the conditions here come late June.
Honestly, if you really want to post a low score, you got to hit the long irons well. I would put the 4 par 3s here up against any in the state. Whether you're hitting hybrid, 3-iron, 4-iron, 5-iron, the par 5s are very gettable, but if you're not hitting the long irons well, you're not going to score well here.
First few holes are sort of most gettable. What do you think? What do they mean to the round?
They're definitely gettable. You can easily go birdie, birdie, birdie on the first 3.
You got to be aggressive. You got to pound driver. You got to go for it right off the bat, because once you get to 4, you got to hold on for the rest of the front 9. You have to be super aggressive out of the gate.
But also you've got out of bounds lining the right side of every single hole. So there could be some early swings in matches, but then again, there could be a lot of halved birdies on those first couple of holes.
Toughest hole here is it's either going to be 9 or 18, and I think that's one of the great parts about this golf course is that, in my opinion, the 2 toughest holes finish both 9s.
It's a toss-up between 10 and 18. If the wind is up, I think 10 or 18, whichever one is going to be into the wind, is going to play the toughest. If it's going to be a calm week, I think the par 3 9th. 235
over hazard on 9. It's the most picturesque par 3 that we have here. And the finishing hole 18, 485, 490, 495, all the way back against the prevailing wind. You make par, you're going to win a lot of matches. But I remember my parents talking about when Curtis Strange won the State Am here, that top tee at 9, real simple. He played 2 rounds there, 2 things happened. One, he made a hole-in-one in one match, and in the finals match, it rained its butt off. There was standing water on the green on 9. Curtis Strange chipped over the standing water, made birdie, and won the State Am in the 70s here. Yeah, 16, 17, 18 is a great finish. We've got a very challenging par 3 with a very long green. Sneaky tough par 3. Par is always a good score. But when Tom Clark came here in 03 and 04, if you look at his architectural notes, one of the things that made me smile, he said, 17's not a par 5, 18's not a par 4. The last 2 holes are a par 9. So if you make 9, that's par. And that pretty much sums up 17, 18, because that is a really birdieable 17 and a really tough par at 18. So par 9 the last 2 holes is as good of a description as I can give it.
What changes about your job when you have a golf tournament to prepare for of this magnitude with, it's going to be 7 days, tons of people on the golf course? What are you doing different?
So it's, I kind of correlate it close to our member guest tournament. It's usually our biggest tournament through the year. This one is even bigger than that to me. We don't have this every year, so I want to stand up a little straighter than even normal member guests. But what will change is, we try to time out everything we do out here to be at its best in that week. It is, there's a dance that goes on with Mother Nature throwing rain and curveballs at us constantly. So it's not easy to do that and to get everything to come together all at once, but that's the main goal.
Are you going to change anything from the normal conditions that you have for the members?
Yeah, so
what is that going to be?
This year, and I want the course to hold its integrity. I don't want any guys are hitting it so long these days. I really don't, Cedar Point is a pretty flat, pretty playable course. You can keep the same ball all the way around if you can get through a couple of our water holes on the back. So I want to give it as much teeth as I can. I know these guys are really good golfers, and I think they should be able to adapt to whatever conditions we give. So fairways are a little tighter this year. We're cutting them a little shorter than previous years just to get that much more roll for when the player does put it where he needs to put it in the fairway. And also rough is going to be much higher this year. So that's really our only defense here in Cedar Point. So I'm going to try to get it up to 2.5, 3 inches, which is very rough in hybrid Bermuda grass world.
How fast are we going to have the greens?
So that's always the topic of, and that'll be based on weather conditions as well. So
what's the goal?
My goal is 12 to 13
Nice.
is what I'm going to be shooting for. But, moisture also plays a hand in that. So if we were to get a heavy rain midweek on a Wednesday of that week, Thursday they may be slightly slower than they were Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that would be my ultimate goal. It's kind of, to see 13 on the stimp meter would be very exciting for me, especially for late June. Because after late June, when we get into July and August, I really got to bring those heights up to save those greens and get them through the summer.
With the enhancements that we've done across campus, I look forward to welcoming everybody back here again.
It's been 4 years since we've hosted our last VSGA championship, the 4-ball, and before then was when we didn't have all of our renovations completed. They were just merely a model in the lobby.
I think it is as much of a competition, it's as much of a social event as well. And as far as I'm concerned, we have an obligation as a club in the Commonwealth of Virginia to host the best of the best, and we're honored that the VSGA wants to be here.
We're making a big week of hosting the best players in the state, opening up our club for other social events, to really experience Cedar Point as a member for these participants for a week.
And my role here, my role with the VSGA, is to encourage the other clubs in the Commonwealth to host and roll out the red carpet, and that's what we try to do here. It should be a privilege and an honor and an expectation that you host the best of the best in the state, and that's what we will always do anytime the VSGA comes and wants to hold one of their major events here. Just having 120 of the best in the state is, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Smoke swell haze on the hill over Tennessee.
Number 1, a handshake start. 365, you can hit a 230, 240 yard shot to the corner, or if you're a little more aggressive, you can hit a high left to right driver at the green and try and knock it on or get pretty close. Number 2, another birdie hole, 361 with 2 fairway bunkers, but they're easily coverable for most. The only obstacle is out of bounds right. Number 3, big advantage to a high left to right driver again, 555 with a sharp dog leg around 280. If you go out left, it's a safe shot, but a long way home, probably unreachable for anyone who's not going to cut the corner. Number 4, 456 yards, another dogleg right, with a big deep bunker at the corner. 285 yards to cover it, 270 to hit into it. Make sure to miss it. If you're in that bunker, it's almost impossible to hit the green. It's very deep. maybe if you're in the back of the bunker, but usually not. A good green shape here with a triangle bowl in the front and not much around it. Number 5, a sturdy par 3 with a more of a severe small green for a 200-yard shot. And anything that's going to miss short is usually fine. In the bunker's fine, short's fine, just short right's fine. If you go over left, no bueno. Number 6 is a unique long 5. It's about 600 yards with a huge bunker on the left, big wide fairway. It's got a big tree in the middle of the fairway at 150 yards. So it's unreachable and you have to pick a route past the tree, whether it be over, under, left, right. You're gonna have options kind of based on where you are, and then a pretty simple green waiting for you when you hit your third. Number 7, our first dogleg left, 420 yards with a big lake left of the green. The tee shot needs to be at but not in that fairway bunker. This is one of the toughest approaches in the course, so I like to play this pretty conservative and not try and hook it around the trees, because if you are left of this fairway, you'll have no chance of hitting the green. Number 8, a bit of a shoot off the tee. This is a placement hole. I prefer to hit a lower shot that's going to stop before that bunker, which is about 250. I only go over it with driver to a back pin. Number 9, toughest hole in the course in my opinion, 235. Just step up, hit a good one. That bunker is never a bad spot. Long's not great, and obviously short and right are hazard. Number 10, our first long 4 with an appropriately sized fairway and green. Into the wind, it's a pretty tough 4. Downwind, really not too bad. It's about 470. Number 11, the longest shot you want to hit off the tee is about 225. Hit it left of that bunker, leave yourself a comfy number, because this approach shot always seems to tighten things up, especially from the sand or the rough. It is no fun, and a lot of balls go in the water if you don't have a fairway lie. Number 12, another hole with water. Solid par 3, small green for the 170 to 80 yard shot that you're hitting. And right is an easy 4, left is a tough 4. Only way to make a 3, hit a good shot, hit the small green, and try and make your putt. Number 13, a sharp dogleg left, big advantage to the very high hooking tee shot. It's a 440 yard hole, but you can cut off a ton of that if you can go over the trees. Number 14, a tight but easily reachable 5, 535 yards. Only reason to lay up is if you miss the fairway. And it's a very receptive green with a big slope right in the middle of it. Number 15, 400 yards. Tight fairway that plays even tighter. We've got trees overhanging the right, and we have a lake left. You can hit anything from 3-iron to driver. The lake left is only in play if you hit driver. Number 16, sneaky tough 3, 210 yards and a fairly narrow green. Any shot on the surface is a pretty makeable birdie putt, and it can play from 210, 215 all the way back to about 190. Number 17, the best and really only eagle chance in the course, in my opinion. Only 1 out of 3 bunkers are in play if you can carry it 285, but it is a great neutralizer because it is reachable for just about everybody in the field. And then number 18, 495. Got to be in the fairway. Very tough approach, but a pretty big green. You can't fake it on this hole. If you're playing 18 in match play, it takes 2 great shots to win. I am very excited to be in the field and welcome all my VSGA peers and friends to a course I've been able to call home for my entire golfing life. Really excited to have you. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and thank you to Reid Derco, Cameron Robinett, Chris Keen, Cedar Point Club, all my fellow members, and the VSGA for allowing us to do this.
Pressing play on this old tape was a bad move. Reduced to hell.